Hi everyone, happy Friday. This is Tara Keffer, owner of The Business of Balance, the place where women and especially moms come to find more balanced, joyful, and fulfilled lives through life and career coaching, yoga, and essential oils. So, welcome to my Friday video series where I give some free coaching every week in a quick little video format. You'll see today I have my little newborn here with me because she did not want me to put her down. So I'm not going to. The feeling was pretty mutual. I didn't want to put her down either. So it's just kind of the perks of this work that I'm doing now, that I could do it with a baby on me and however I want. So in today's video, I'm going to go over a few things happening with the Business of Balance and some upcoming events. And then I'm just going to leave you with a thought about why being truly happy and fulfilled in life requires being a little bit of a badass. So I'll talk about that at the end. But if you've been following the Business of Balance on Facebook, you know that each month in 2016, there's been a theme for the month and also a book that may or may not correlate with the theme, but for the most part it does. So for anybody that wants to follow along with the Business of Balance book club, we've had some really great books. So in January we read Gentle Babies, which is all about using essential oils for pregnancy, childbirth, newborns, and for young children. And the theme in January was consistency, because we were starting a new year, trying to get into new routines that aligned with goals for the year and that kind of thing. And then in February, I had a Facebook class that was based around the Gentle Babies book, all about essential oils for pregnancy and newborns. And then in February, our book was The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up. And the theme for February was decluttering your life, not just your house, but basically your life. And then in March, our book was Sync Reflections, which is a great book about how to get your house, and again, not just your physical house, but kind of your metaphorical house in order as well, when you feel overwhelmed, disorganized, and like you're living in chaos. And the theme for March was spring cleaning. And at the end of March, I had planned to have a teleclass based on the Sync Reflections book and the Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up, and go over some of the main points of those books and how to declutter your life. I did not get around to doing that teleclass at the end of March because I had this little one, and and I couldn't get it done. So that teleclass is still going to happen, but it will be sometime this month in April. And then moving on to April's theme and book. So the book for this month is going to be Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway. So you can see this is a 20th anniversary edition. So this is a book by Susan Jeffers that's been around for a long time. I haven't actually read it yet, so I will be reading it this month. And the theme for April that goes along with this is going to be taking courageous action. And that's something that's very meaningful to me this month too, because last April was when I left my job, and I went to life and career coach training and started my certification process and made this huge change in my life that took a lot of courage to do. So I thought it would be appropriate to have April be the Taking Courageous Action month to kind of celebrate my 1 year of taking my own courageous action. And in next week's video, I'm going to talk more about why personally I took that action, what it was like for me, my thoughts about it now. But but the biggest reason was basically so I could do this, so I can be with my family when they need me and do my work around my family instead of kind of being with my family around my work. And so I'll talk about that more in next week's video. But what I wanted to talk about briefly today, that goes along with our Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway book this month. And again, at the end of this month, I'll either have a teleclass on this book as well, or maybe it will be at the beginning of May, since we'll have the Decluttering Your Life teleclass in April. Maybe we'll do one on taking courageous action in May, or maybe I'll just do another video that summarizes the points in that book instead. But that's the plan. And then I'm also in May going to have another Moms Who Crush Goals workshop coming up. That I'm going to shorten the workshop this time. It's just going to be a one afternoon event for 2-3 hours, and it's going to be $40 and a good chance to get together with other moms and get focused on setting some goals and setting action plans to achieve those goals. So it's a shorter and less expensive format than what I've offered before. So stay tuned for that coming in May too. But now that we got all that out of the way, the point I wanted to make in today's video is that that basically to truly be happy and fulfilled in your life, it requires being a little bit of a badass. And the reason I say that is because, you know, to really take courageous action, it in itself means that there's some fear there, and you have to push through the fear. And where a lot of that stems from is it's usually action that goes against what other people want for us or what society wants for us. So a lot of the time people end up doing like work in their lives that their parents kind of convince them to do, or they end up on a path because they started down that path and they feel like they're too far down that path, where they kind of have to stick with it because, for example, they have a degree in the work they're doing and they've done it for 10 years. So they feel stuck and like there's no other option but to continue doing that work. Or they're in a relationship, a marriage, and they're just not happy at all, but society says, you know, it's the right thing to do is to stay in a relationship. So the point is that to really truly be happy, you have to turn inward and tune out all the voices of what your family says, society says, social media says, what, you know, turn off what other people are doing and really tune inward, whether it's, you know, just some quiet reflection, meditation, journaling, and figure out what you want to make you happy, and then taking the action to make that happen. And in order to do that, you need to kind of not care what anybody else thinks, not care what your family thinks, not care what society thinks, and just really be true to what you want, and then have the courage to take the action to make that happen. So to me, that's being a little bit of a badass, to say, I don't really give a crap what anybody else thinks. I'm going to do what I need to do to make me happy. And I actually worked with a client a while ago who was in a marriage for a really long time that was pretty abusive. And she had decided that she needed to end it. And you know, this was not me telling her that's what she should do, because again, in coaching, that's not what happens. But she had already pretty much made that decision. Through coaching, she got clarity around that decision. And then in our coaching, I worked with her to help her kind of gain the courage to take action to change something, even though it's kind of taboo, kind of against maybe what some people in her family or society would think she should do. But to truly be happy, you need to be aligned with what you want and make that happen, and not really care about anybody or anything else. Now, to be fair, though, that doesn't mean that you do irrational things, right? Like, you don't just, if you say, well, what I really want to do is sit around and watch TV all day, but my family is basically going to be in poverty if I do that. Well, that is not, you know, rational or realistic. But I think the average person, or, you know, most people feel better as productive members of society that are contributing to the overall good. So most people's desires and wants are going to actually be for the good of everybody else, and it's going to be to benefit society and the people around them. And also, when you're true to yourself and doing what makes you happy, then automatically you're obviously going to be happier. For those around you, the people around you are probably going to be happier, and if they're not happy as a result of your happiness, then they probably don't deserve a place in your life anyway. But when you are aligned with your true desires, you are going to be in a better mood, in a better place, and that's just going to translate and make you a better person for those around you, and they'll probably appreciate that, and you could be a better mom, a better wife, a better person when you're not bitter and angry about where you are in your life, and you're doing the things that make you happy. And again, within reason, and being rational and a responsible adult at the same time. So that concludes my video for today. So I would love to hear in the comments how you would like to go forward this month with being a little bit of a badass, and what kind of courageous action you're going to take to do that. So I would love to hear about it in the comments. And I really appreciate you taking the time to watch this video. And I would love if you would share it with your friends. And if you don't already, make sure to follow The Business of Balance on Facebook so you don't miss out on these monthly books and free teleclasses, and a lot of free events that I have coming up, and then the paid workshop that I have coming up in May. And as always, if you have any questions about this video, about my coaching or my business, feel free to reach out to me directly by emailing tara@thebusinessbalance.com, and I will see you next week in another video. Thanks.